My name is James Ingram, just anywhere on there. Wherever, doesn't matter. This is my road that you're walking on. Luckily you're not in muck and marl, and luckily today you're not getting bitten by mosquitoes. But if I had my way, if my plan succeeded, I was going to build a railroad from Homestead all the way to Cape Sable to fulfill an interesting need of the just then opened Panama Canal. We were going to build a deep water port to take advantage of the problem of adding an extra 4 or 5 days of shipping days to New York. We were going to build our port so ships would come straight to us, and then we would take them by rail around the country. Now, when we sent our leading engineer, William J. Crome, down through the Everglades, he came back 2 weeks later, emaciated, thread-borne, mosquito-bitten, and 20 pounds lighter, and he told my boss, there's no amount of fill on the earth that can bring your railroad down to Cape Sable. In other words, there's no amount of dirt and muck and marl that we can build up over all this water. Of course, we were dealing with a lot more water back then. So we abandoned the plan to build the railroad to Cape Sable, and we started to build the railroad across the Keys down to Key West. Okay. Years later, since we did have some holdings here of some land, the Florida Federation of Women's Club educated us as to the beauty of this hammock, and we donated it to the Florida Federation. It did help, though, that most of its members were our wives. It wasn't hard to convince us to, hey.
Did it also support the women's suffrage movement?
Yes, a little bit of everything. And they were one of the first big park movements that were fully backed by women. You know, there were a couple of other parks that had maybe one role that one woman played the key role, but as a group, they really championed. And the day that the park opened in 1947, the donation of land to Harry Truman, the only big swath donation, was from the Florida Federation of Women's Club of this hammock to Harry Truman that day. That's when they transferred the deed. So even though the opening ceremony took place on an airport runway in Everglades City, this was, in effect, Everglades National Park. Because we would still need to buy and purchase and cajole slowly all the rest of the lands. All we had was that.
So this was the seed.
This was the seed of the Everglades National Park movement. And a great, great symbolic example for others to jump on board and at least sell the land. You know, we had to buy a lot.